Namaste, beautiful yogis. I am here at the parking lot at Whole Foods because I need to pick up some fingerlings. I want to plant some fingerlings, and I wanted to talk a little bit about why I eat one meal a day. And because this started way before the intermittent fasting trend. I don't even know when the intermittent fasting trend was created and when the word originated. I might Google it later, or DuckDuckGo it, or something else, search it later. But I just wanted to talk about the cycles in life and in each and every day. So in each day there is a cycle that mimics the cycle in life and the cycle of birth and death, really. So those are really profound cycles that allow us to tap into the rhythms of the universe. So in general, since I discovered this since I was young, and my mom always said it as well, almost like, oh, we genetically are like that, we don't like breakfast, your grandpa didn't, and so forth. So I discovered that my mind needs to tap into the ephemeral, the light elements of reality during the day. It's bright and light outside, and I don't want to come into the physical, which is the body, the food, the nourishment, the physical nourishment. I don't want to go in there just yet, because I want to be in the ephemeral, the air quality of life, the light quality of life, the ethereal. And that to me during the day is time for activity, fire. Excuse my nails. I'll have to figure out how to take this off because it's baby polish acrylic, but anyways, during the day I would like to tap into the ethereal, the ephemeral, the light element, the inspiration, the ideas, the world of ideas on earth. And then that is the cycle of the day. I'm really light. I'm also active, doing yoga. It's the fire element, also active in a more like fiery way rather than physical earth way. So I still don't want to feel the earth element during the day. It's literally the last thing on my mind, actually, eating, especially in times of inspiration. And ideas flow through me. Energy flows through me. Lightness flows through me. Everything flows really well. And I'm here. I wanna conceptualize things. I wanna have deep thoughts. Emptiness, physical emptiness that can help to be expressed on a deeper level. Mental emptiness, or emotional emptiness, or thought emptiness. And when I say thought, that doesn't mean concepts and ideas. And contemplating the divine is a completely different thing from rational mind emptiness, where you don't think about just mundane things. And I think I'm seeing an armed guard at Whole Foods. Just this is the contrast, talking about the ephemeral and also what the world is turning into. And now we're having this opportunity to see the world really polarizing, and the energy is really polarizing, and there is this light element in the world, and the darkness surfacing up. So now the darkness is becoming more visible. And I don't know about you, but I don't think I know many people that don't believe in the dark. Just not believing does not protect us from that. We have to be able to emotionally be capable of dealing with the polarity in the duality in this universe, so that, or on earth, so that we can not be weakened by the vague fear of it, just the subconscious fear of it. When things come to the surface, the darkness becomes a shadow, just a shadow. You can integrate it, and so does for society. So I feel that when the darkness now is so visible and surfacing up, and as I said, I don't know people that don't believe. It's in every religion, and it's in every spiritual teaching, especially the real masters. They were very intense. They were very, very intense, and they believed in actual action. And not action like revolution, but being truthfully and authentically who they are in what they do. So they were quite, a lot of them just people with fierce focus, fierce action, fierce words, fierce presence, not softies, how the spiritual idea now is. And nothing wrong with softies. I'm all about kindness and treating people with kindness, but also there is that other element of Saturn where too much kindness will not allow you to grow. So you don't want to be surrounded only by people that baby you too much, because a little bit of roughing up the surface will actually make you sprout in those places, or will let the light in those places. So there is a little bit of that element in those teachers. They were tough, and tough lessons, and a little bit direct, and the direct teachings. So then when the evening comes, I'm ready to let go of concepts, ideas, the lightness, the light element of life, and I'm ready to just kind of like, in a sense, dull down, but ground down. So I eat, which is nourishment, and I enjoy it. I'm hungry by then, and then I feel quite grounded for the evening, so that after that I can play with Lottie and do other things, just chill or clean or whatever. And then by evening I don't have any excitement, so I can go to bed empty and just ready to let go of the day. So that's my cycle. That doesn't mean this is the right cycle for other people or for everyone or in general. It's just, or even for me, it's just the cycle for me up until now. That doesn't mean I will continue indefinitely. I'm forever ebbing and flowing and changing, but that is the cycle. And it's really interesting because it's almost an astrological cycle as well, which we do have the entire chart throughout each and every day. And there is this cyclical nature of life, and everything repeats itself in cycles, and they are microcosms of the big macrocosm. And that's, to me, how I nourish first my my lighter body, and truthfully, in the future, that is the future human. We're talking millions or billions of years. We are going to grow to be beings that can nourish themselves with light and prana, and with fasting we get to have a peek into that. We're not there yet. I think first we'll go through plant foods, and then through fruits, which fruit is the most ephemeral of foods. And after that, billions of years, we will become lighter bodied and be able to fill ourselves with light and prana. And until then, we're going to find those lighter elements within each day, within each thought, within each emotion, or within each meal. And the more physical elements are also beautiful. So that's Taurian energy to some degree, which is the nourishment, the foods, the physical, the appreciation, ruled by Venus. And Venus is the energy that binds or brings the divine beauty on earth. So we can find that divine, the expression of the divine beauty. It can be materialized, it can be seen by the rulership of Venus on earth. And Venus is constantly trying to bring the more ephemeral element in the divine. So because the sign of Venus is a circle, which is the eternal and the divine, and then the cross underneath, which is the physical, and almost the one that bears the physical suffering. So she is always directing that energy of the physical, of the physicality, towards the lightness of the ephemeral, of the eternal, the divine. So I'm getting ready, speaking of all of this, to do for the membership. I will be doing the fruit series, and right now I might pick up a watermelon, and I will be planting watermelon later today. So the watermelon would be interesting because the watermelon allows us, the flower essence allows us to tap into old creativity and talents that we have had in previous lives or in the past, to bring them into fruition, to bring them here so we can crystallize them. And watermelon is, according to medical medium, not only, but he says it well, binds the mycotoxins and viral load and bacterial load and things that are in imbalance, toxic load. It binds it and carries it out of the body, and it tones the urinary system, and in general it's a massive and beautiful detoxifier on a cellular level, on the gut and so forth. So watermelon was everybody's favorite, so I'm excited to do watermelon too. What else is watermelon? Represents fertility, and on a spiritual level it represents renewal and fertility and the sacral chakra, and on an astrological level it is ruled by Cancer and Pisces, by the moon, so it's related to Cancer and Pisces. And because it carries the water element within itself, I do feel that it has a little more of other rulerships in itself, because it's Cancer is the mothering, but also the reproductive cycle, and the green color is good luck. It's a beautiful thing to contemplate, and we're so blessed to be able to use its healing powers. It's usually good every so often, every few years, to do a watermelon fast for a couple of days, just to tone the urinary system and get stuff out of there. But fruit in general does that. It really cleans up to where there is no excess candida, no excess mold and toxins and so forth. And I know that from experience, because I had to clear up a very, very heavy mold toxicity. So that is why I do it. Oh, and on YouTube I want to do series which will take me 3 months to complete. If I'm posting once a week, it will be the 12 astrological signs. And the beauty of it is that you're not gonna just do Aries if you're Aries, but you're gonna do Aries when it's a new moon in Aries, when you want to tap into the positives of Aries, the positive signs, when you want to create action in your world, and you're actually weak in Aries quality. So you're gonna do it if you are Aries, but also you're gonna do it if you tap into the Aries, or if you want to remove certain Aries qualities that you have in excess, such as if you have extra anger, rage, etc. Like those are the negatives of Aries. And you can also do it just on a new moon in Aries, and you can do it whether you're Aries or not. It's gonna be the polarities of that, and we all have it in us, to all 12 qualities in their whatever they represent on the axis of the extremes of the two sides of it. Actually, speaking of which, when you have two polar opposite qualities, they're very easily harmonized, because in astrology opposition is easier to work with than squares, because the opposites really contain the same quality in its polarity. So it's really not an opposition in its how we determine what opposites mean, like different things completely opposite. No, those are the end of the spectrum of the same quality, and because it's the same quality, it can be harmonized way easier than a square. Square is a lot more work. I've even heard that they say that Christ's chart was a lot of squares, because obviously he was here to work and to really dive deep. So yeah, the astrology will be interesting. It's my passion, and somehow now the crisis in the world is making me develop different ways to feel yoga and movement. I'm really grateful to be in the movement healing arts, and I will call it arts unapologetically, because I realized that through movement we are able to really process things way deeper than through thinking about them. Even meditation is similar to movement, not superior. But psychology, where you try to think your problems through, is just a little one's way to deal with it, but not the main way. If you go in the body, if you go deep into the body and you work on letting go, you're gonna translate that into letting go of trauma. Or if you are able to sit with yourself during movement, and you're gonna be able to sit with your mind, the monkey mind, that is. There's two minds. When you say mind, that is just a little bit of a weakness in the language, because those are not the same things, but we use the same word. We have the universal mind, and we have the rational or the conditioned mind, or even the mind that, even with the layers of the mind, the subconscious mind that carries trauma and programming, and the pattern thoughts that determine how we manifest things into the world, our beliefs that are unconscious, pretty much. Line is collecting there in front of Whole Foods. I should have gone straight in, but that's okay. So we are able through the physical to really access a very deep level of healing. On a spiritual really level, we can really mirror the physical. We can heal the physical, but then we can mirror all the emotional layers, the mental and the spiritual layers. So we can learning to let go in a yoga pose. Okay, I'm letting go of wanting it to be perfect, or okay, I'm letting go so I can go deeper into it. I'm letting go of the tension. Both of those are spiritual lessons, and I feel very grateful for discovering this type of healing, because I feel it really, you never have to think about something or realize it and you can heal it. It's genius. It's absolutely genius, because it's so tapped into the pulse of the universe. What else did I want to say? Something about mirroring. Yes. And when we sit with ourselves and we see the things we hate about the world, we also get the opportunity to mirror, to use it as a mirror, and understand that those are the things that we sometimes despise in ourselves. Those are the things that we can open up and forgive others in order to forgive ourselves. So understanding everything is this process of really everything coming back in. And that is it. It didn't turn out to be a talk about what I like to why I like to eat once a day. That was the intention, but you know, it's a little more. It's musings of the day.